So I'm driving down the highway and I look in my mirror and what do I see but this? The only thing that kept this whole side from just flying off is that wood right there snagged it. That would have been a bad day. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to throw a strap over the whole thing and strap the sides to the unit. What you guys doing?
Good.
You having fun?
Uh-huh.
Bennett, are you wearing a bow tie? Are you wearing a bow tie? Silly. Good, beautiful morning, everybody. Silas back again today, and I think I hear a truck on the way in. That one's pretty rough. It came from out in western Kansas, but there's some other really cool trucks there that he'll be bringing in at a later time. But today, basically what this video is going to kind of be is here lately, I have been buying a ton of antique trucks and a couple cars, but mainly just trucks. And a lot of times the truck will pop up on Marketplace or somebody will text me and say, hey, I've got this truck, I want to sell it. And so I've got to drop what I'm doing and go get it right then and there, or else somebody else will get it. A good example of that is that the Super Bowl was just yesterday, and on the Friday before that, there were a bunch of international trucks not far from here, about an hour away from here. The guy wanted $2,500 for all four of them. I messaged him and I said, hey, I want these trucks, but I already have other trucks I have to go get first. I said, if you'll hold them till Monday, which is today, I will give you $4,000. That's $1,500 extra dollars. He went ahead and sold them Saturday for $2,000. So that's $2,000 less than what I offered him, just because he needed money to party for the Super Bowl. So if possible, I have to drop what I'm doing, go get the trucks. But the thing is, when I do that, sometimes I don't have my cameras with me, sometimes I don't have my microphone, whatever it may be, and so I can't always make a video out of every truck that I pick up. So what I've done over the last couple of weeks is I've just recorded loading and a little bit about each truck that I've got. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play footage of loading the trucks, and then I'll kind of walk around and show you those trucks, as well as a few more that I bought that I actually didn't even record at all.
Hey, tuck your feet in. Don't step on the wall. Your feet tucked in? No. They better be. Get out of the way.
Okay, now that you kind of saw what we loaded, I'll kind of walk around and I'll show you some of those. I'll show you some of these other trucks, like the one behind me is the one I got out by Greensburg. Just kind of talk about them a little bit and show you what all I got. I absolutely love these Western Kansas trucks. This thing is rock solid. No rust at all in this, except for the passenger cab corner had a rat nest in it, and so it got a little bit rusty. But the floors are rock solid, kick panels, the roof, everything on this truck. Very nice truck here. It's got an old 216 in it. I think this is a 49 if I remember right. It's got the directional turn signals on the front and rear. Just thought that was kind of neat. It does have the optional hood ornament on it. That's kind of a neat thing. This cabin clip is actually already sold, as is this one. Now this one here, I don't believe you guys saw. I don't think I recorded when it came in. This is a 1954 5-window. It's got the wraparound windows in the front and it's got the one-piece windshield. Now this is a 54, 55 first series, had a different emblem on them. I wish it was a 1-ton. This is a 1.5 tons. This is a light duty truck, but not quite all the way light duty because the 1-tons have the small front clip. But still, this is once again a very, very solid truck. Very, very minor rust on this. The worst thing about this truck is right up here. It's got a big crunch up there above the little window there. Not sure. Yeah, the interior is all in it. The floors are pretty solid. I think this one here has a 235 in it. Yeah, this has a 235 in it. It's got a little bit of damage up here as well. So it's got some issues, but once again, this cabin clip sold pretty quickly. Next up on the list is this 19, I think this is a 52, if I remember right, 51. I can't remember now. I've bought so many trucks I can't remember all of them. Now this truck here is really cool how it has the visor on it there. This actually has a 261 in it that runs. That's a pretty good piece. And the truck itself is in really good condition. A little bit of rust in the cab corners. And oh, this door doesn't open on this one. The other door opens. It's got a little bit of rust in the kick panels, I believe, and in the floors, but not terrible. Yes, just a little bit. And it's got somebody's rigged up a radio in it, so it's a little on the rough side with a few things. But once again, this cabin clip sold almost instantly. But I just love this visor on here. So cool. If I was into these trucks, honestly, this is probably the one that I would keep, and I would leave it, this patina and all this on it, just kind of fix a little bit of the rust. But I'm really just not into these advanced design trucks. I like these trucks, but I really only like them because they're so easy to sell. But just good looking truck right there. Those there, the bottom one, I don't remember where it came from. The middle bed that's there, kind of just that piece of that bed, was a 35 Chevy that I bought out in Ellenwood at an auction. And then the top one is what's left of the old Chevy that I went to Minden, Nebraska for. He's hauling all those into the shredder for me. Prices are high enough now, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all those frames that I stacked out back. I wish I wouldn't have stacked them back there now. I didn't think price would go up this far this fast. But not a big deal, there's a little bit of weight there, so that'll get me back some of my money that I spent on these trucks. And here's the truck that I unloaded. This thing is an ugly and rusty pig. It's all beat up, it's all rusted out, but it's got kind of a good looking nose on it with the double headlights and the little eyebrows on it. So I can chop that off, sell that. And then the doors have writing on them. They're not a very good color. I don't really like the white. I wish they were a different color, but that's okay. I think they'll still sell. They have really good writing on them still. These newer doors like this don't sell quite as good as the older doors, but like I say, I can still sell them, so I'll do that. And the cab is just rotted gone, so I'll probably cut the back of the cab off. And under the hood, it's got a 6-cylinder. I forget what size it is. It's whatever came out in this truck. And I can definitely find a home for that too. Oh, and then it has a radiator in it. So once I do all that, and then I can scrap it out. It's got a few cool gears on the bed, if I can get those to come off, if they'll cooperate. If not, once I get done chopping it up, what I'll probably honestly do is just pull the whole cabin clip off altogether just to get it off, then pull the motor out, see if those gears cooperate. If they don't, then I'll just go ahead and ship the whole chassis in. Right beside it, I went clear to a little tiny town called Dillwyn for this. It's out by Maxville, Kansas. And Dillwyn, all that's left of it is an abandoned house and a grain elevator. And this was actually at the grain elevator. So I bought that on an online auction. I think I gave $700 for it. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. It is a custom cab. It's got the chrome around the windshield and the chrome grille. What's really cool about this one that I really like is this brush guard right here. This is an actual made brush guard. It fits this truck perfect. It wraps around. It has been bumped a couple times. It's a little bit bent on the ends, but that can all be fixed. But I just like the design of it. It's not just bars, but it's actual like metal that fits together. You can't really see it very good, but it's shaped metal. I don't know how else to describe it. So it's not just like an ugly, heavy iron homemade job that somebody made. It's got an old 292 4-barrel under the hood. This cab is very rusty. I don't think this one is buildable. You can kind of see it's got rot there, and it's rotted out up in there. The floors are rusty. Had a lot of mice in it over the years. Sat for a long time. I was kind of lucky when the pictures on the online auction, it was buried up to the axles in mud and leftover grain rot, and I mean it was bad, and the bed was clear full of stuff, and so I think that's why I got it so cheap. But they actually had it already drug out and cleaned out when I got there. So this one here I may not chop the nose off of, just because I think that this grill guard and then the grill itself will probably bring more as they are than the nose would as art. The rest of the truck I'll probably just go ahead and part it out and cut it up. I found a home for the old D2. He doesn't want the traction set up off of it, the bucket and all the arms and all that. He's going to bring that back. All he wants is the actual track unit itself. So that's definitely good. Next up is this truck over here. The day I went out and got that 49 that was out by Greensburg, there was this truck popped up on Marketplace for $1,000. So I messaged the guy and said, I'll take it. I can be there this afternoon. He said, no problem, I'll hold it for you. So I got there and got it. It's got an FE engine. It's a 360 or a 390. He said it's a 390, but it's probably a 360. They usually are. Now, obviously, that's not what came out in this truck, but it's a 2-barrel, so I really doubt it's 390. But this truck is pretty rusty once again, so it's probably just going to get chopped up. It does have a lot of really good parts on it, though. And then I can always pull the doors off for art, pull the back of the cab off. Oh, it's got a Mopar spotlight on it. I thought that was pretty neat. I'll definitely save that. But yeah, it's got really good color on the front of this one, so somebody will definitely buy that. I think this is a 59 here. And then the engine that's in this, whatever it is, whether it is a 360 or a 390, it does run. So I'll definitely find a home for that as well. Kind of big news. I'm not sure when I'll record this, but sometime this month, I have to get 22 noses and trunks cut off. I met a guy online. He had emailed me, and I tried to email him back, and it wouldn't go through. And then I finally was able to get his phone number and get a hold of him, and so it worked out. He's sending me the money now. And as of recording this anyway, by the time you see this, I'll have already had the money and I've been started on this job. But I've got to cut the nose off of this truck, that Ford that this bed's on. Let's see here, what else? That green GMC back there. That Chevy truck right there with the cockeyed hood, that one right there. Got to do that one. There's a white GMC that's just like this green one over there. Oh, it's that red dump truck right there. And then what else is there? Oh, here it is. Yeah, this KB. Got to cut the nose off of it. And then the 63 Mercury right here, I got to cut the trunk off of it. And then I've just got a bunch more scattered up through the rest of the yard that I got to get. But that'll all be a separate video. We'll worry about that then. But that's probably my biggest single order. Now I have other people that have bought more than that, but it was over a span of time. This is probably my largest single order I've ever done. Last fall I did an order for, I think, was it 15? I think it was 15, and at that point in time I thought that was my biggest order, but this one surpasses that. I got to get the nose off of this old Ford truck right here, and I say 22, it's actually 21. One of the ones, the number 22, is a tailgate and a bunch of other stuff, so that's not actually something I have to cut. He wants the nose off of this one as well, and it's kind of sad because it's a good looking truck, but you know, whoever pays the money gets the stuff. And then this truck here, this little Chevy, Terry didn't want the front clip on this one, he just wanted the cab. So we're going to go ahead and cut the nose off of that as well. And then there's just a handful more of them scattered around. This trunk that we cut off of this car was a separate deal. The guy came and he brought a car with him, that one over there, and he was going to trade it towards this whole car. And then once he saw the car, he says, you know what, I really don't need the whole car. Would you sell just the trunk section off of it? And I said, yeah, I'd do that. So he traded the car towards that instead. Kind of ashamed to cut it up, but I mean, the car is super rusty. I mean, it's just rusted out. It's missing a lot of parts already anyway. And you know, Packards just aren't worth a lot of money unless they're really nice. Plus on top of that, I can always cut the nose off of it at a later time. That'll be a chunk of money by itself as well, because that's just a good looking nose. It's all beat up and mangled up, so nobody's going to want that to use it on their car, because usually Packard buyers want mint parts, and so no one's going to want this to actually use. So with a little bit of work, you can straighten it up a little bit. Perfect for a wall hanger. And it does have a few other good parts left on it, like it's got a lot of good chrome pieces if somebody ever wanted those. And if not, some of these pieces, like these little clipper pieces back here, those make good art pieces. And then it does have the rear air in it, the rear AC, so that's a good unit. A lot of guys like to take those and put those in other cars, so somebody will buy that for sure. And last but not least, we have my Studebaker zip van. This was actually the very first vehicle that I went and picked up and recorded as far as what's in this video here. And it popped up on Marketplace one day. The guy has a bunch of cars up north of here. He was getting ready to have a crusher come in and crush them all, and he had this, and he was going to crush it, but he thought, I'll try one time. And so I said, I'll take it, I'll come get it. I ran up there, grabbed it. Pretty cool little unit. It is very rough. I mean, it's missing a lot of the glass, which it is all flat glass, so it's easily replaceable. And then the floors are all gone. They've just got plywood in here. And then this side over here is missing a chunk of the body where they cut it out and they covered it up with tin. So I mean, it's got a lot of issues. It's missing the door on the side. But it is just such a cool little thing. It's kind of rusty, but I think I can probably sell the engine to somebody that's restoring one of these. It's probably a fairly rare engine. And then the rest of it, I'm not sure. I have advertised, I haven't really advertised, but I have priced it to a few people for $17.50 for the whole thing as is. And it's probably well worth that, because these in just a little bit better condition usually sell for around $3 grand. So I feel like that's a pretty fair price for this one. If somebody doesn't buy it, what I'm going to do with this is kind of a crazy idea. I'm not going to say what it is now just because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But if somebody buys it, that's okay. If somebody doesn't buy it, I've got some crazy things in the work for this thing. And that's about it. There were a few other cars. There was that old Zephyr station wagon, which I guess real quick, funny story about that one. Lady calls and she says, I've got an old 1940s Chevy station wagon and I'll sell it pretty cheap and some other junk at my house. So we just drop everything we're doing. We take off over there. We get there and that's what we got is a 1978 Mercury Zephyr station wagon. not quite the same. But it was cheap, so we went ahead and bought it, and we got that Caprice, and there was another junk car. There was some other stuff there. There's that old bread van, and I forget what else there was. A horse trailer, and oh, there's a school bus there. Just an assortment of stuff, and we bought it all, but they have to clean all that other stuff out, so it'll be a little bit before we get those back in. But anyway, that's all for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit different than my normal style, but I had all these trucks and stuff coming in, and I didn't want to not make a video about them, but yet there wasn't enough with any one of those by themselves to make a video out of just that, because I don't do willet starts and stuff like that. I've done a couple, but I don't enjoy them, and you guys can tell by watching the videos that I don't enjoy doing them, and so I just probably, I won't say I won't ever do another one, but I probably won't ever do another one. So I thought this was my best bet, is just kind of put them all together and then walk around and show them to you guys. Like I say, a lot of these Chevy trucks that are up here are already sold. The only one that isn't sold that I've showed you guys so far is the old blue. Well, actually, both of the red Ford fridges, the 58 and the 59, are still available, and the C50 cab over that I just got is available, and then of course the Studebaker zip van is available. So as always, my email will be in the description below if you're interested in one of those. Please be patient if you do email me. I get 100 to 150 emails and messages a day, so it's very hard to stay on top of that. But with that, I'll let y'all go. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you next time.